And welcome back to another very special edition of the Vulcan Nation podcast. We're happy and pleased to continue our retrospective with the 2020 Alumni Award recipients here at the university. And today we're very happy to host this year's winner of the Professional Excellence Award. She is currently the president and CEO of the Private Industry Council of Westmoreland and Fayette Incorporated. She's also a two-time graduate of California University, Pennsylvania, classes of 2001 and 2003. We are very happy and pleased today to welcome Shujuane Brown Martin to the podcast. Welcome.
Hey. Glad to be here and honored.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honored of the award.
To have you. Thanks for taking the time out to join us today. We know that everyone's got a very busy schedule, so it's real cool for you to take the time out today for us.
Yes, not a problem. Always I'm a Cal U fan at the heart.
Cal U for life, right? That's something we like to hear.
Right, for life.
Absolutely. Well, Shujuane, we'd like to get right down to business here on the podcast and allow our guests to, introduce themselves to our listeners, kind of, how you got to Cal U, who you were as a student there, and kind of where it's led to you today in your current title and position.
Okay. Well, as you already mentioned, I'm a two-time graduate from Cal U. I did my studies in business administration. But also the biggest thing about me too is that I was a women's basketball player. Played all 4 years at Cal U from 97 to 01. Rewarding experience, loved it, enjoyed it. There's so much I could say about Cal U, but I will say that the biggest part of my time there, I really enjoyed being a student athlete. And the reason why is because that, a lot of people find that to be pressure, a lot of pressure. And it is, but it got me to where I am today. The reason why I say that, because as a student athlete, it gave me a lot of leadership skills. And the biggest thing that I remember that I learned from day one and moving in at Cal U was servitude. The athletes had to move in before all the students. And the first thing that I noticed is that when I moved in as a freshman, our sophomore, juniors, and senior athletes were already there, and they helped us move in. And then after they helped us, we collectively helped the other students on campus to move in. So, that just shows you that if you're not willing to pick up a box, that you can't lead people. You can't lead people. But it was rewarding because it shows you, like, it set that expectation, that standard. Like, you're not going to come up here and just be a jock, as some people say.
No, absolutely. I think, and that's important too, because in outside of Cal U, I also teach in master's and doctorate programs in sport management and educational leadership. And one of the things we talk about there oftentimes is that the duality of the student athlete, that not only are they sharing the same, pressures that regular college students do. Maybe they're working extra jobs to make ends meet or have some spending money or have family obligations and things. But then on top of that, you have all the competition aspect to manage, all of the practice and time scheduling things. So I have to imagine that, given your current role, as president CEO at PIC, I would imagine a lot of the stuff that came from on the court translates there to your position there now too.
Correct. From on the court and in the classroom. I mean, because the other thing with that is you have to be motivated. Got to have that self-motivation. I mean, it takes a lot of motivation to get up at 4:30 a.m. to go meet your teammates at the corner, to go up to the field to work out for like 2 hours and get back.
On the stadium steps and stuff, yeah.
Right, and get to class at 8 and get good grades.
Right. Most students are, hitting the snooze button till past their 8 o'clock class. At least I know that happened to me a few times, but and I was lucky enough when I was there to be the manager for women's basketball. And I remember one year, I tried, I was like trying to get in shape and I could do this and went to conditioning and those 5 a.m. go run 2 miles on track when it's, that was not. I realized very, very soon that I was not cut out for that. I'll keep my little 30 minutes on a treadmill and be done. But So yeah, it's definitely cool to see it firsthand and appreciate everything that goes into that.
Right.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about your story. And, we already talked a little bit about, how your experiences shaped where you are, but what other skills or, pathways maybe did your time at Cal U help open up to get you today to the point you are in your career?
I would say that when I was in my graduate studies, I did a volunteer assignment with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I participated in what was called the Lunch Buddies program, and it gave you the opportunity to work one-on-one with a child in the school district. And what it showed me, it brought out my compassion actually for social services, but also case management. And because actually it was that experience that made me apply for the case management job at the Private Industry Council, which was my first job outside of college. So that right there helped me right there. We had to do that as part of our, I can't remember what class it was. It was something with nonprofit, but you had to do some type of field work. And
Okay.
I did it. I only had to do it for like a semester, but I found it so rewarding. I did it for the whole year.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I did it for the whole year. So that helped me out a lot too. The other thing that I did briefly that some people know, some people don't, is that I was also a basketball coach for California Area School District.
Okay.
I coached their women's basketball team, varsity and JV. And that was another thing that, because of my beginnings at Cal U, it opened up other avenues. So I got a chance to coach for 2 years. That again was rewarding because, when you deal with the younger group, sometimes they're not as passionate as we are when it comes to sports. Because I dealt with the ones where, I had one of my players, they were late to the bus because she's like, my boyfriend broke up with me. And I'm like, so what? We got a game.
There's no crying in basketball, right?
There's no crying in basketball. Take it out on the court.
No, that's good. And I got to imagine, that coaching aspect, too, plays a big role, in your role as president and CEO. I imagine that, with your staff, there's a lot of that coaching aspect that goes into your day-to-day operations.
Right. Definitely. You definitely coaching, mentoring, all those things come in play when you are in management.
Absolutely. That leadership, those leadership skills definitely are innate, and it's hard to come by, but I think, it's definitely exemplified by your experience, at least, that you've been able to translate those pretty easy. So that's very cool to see. Well, for everyone's story, every good story has a good supporting cast. So in your story, who were the folks that maybe, supported you the most along the way, whether it was specific professors or staff members at Cal, or maybe it was like your Cal U friends and teammates. And this would be the time to shout them out too, if you're so.
I would say it took a lot of people, but number one, I have to give props to God, my family. But obviously, one of my favorite professors was the late Dr. Burl Brown.
Sure.
I really enjoyed his class, especially he talked about human resource management, labor relations, all those things that I deal with now. They were so relevant. But also my coaches, I came in under Coach Tom and Gail Kendall, Coach Darcy, Coach Skip, Coach Tina, Coach Heather, all of them. Obviously, my basketball teammates, all of them, and the men's basketball team, because we traveled together. The Cal U football players, I had a lot of friends. But I cannot forget also my roommates over the years, Raven Johnson, Dana Townsend, but then also my sorority, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. And there was also staff, I would say Megan Bird, Lamont Coleman, and Nancy Pinardi. And Carolyn Tard. No one can forget Miss Carolyn Tard.
Can't forget Miss Tard. And it's funny because she is also one of the 2020 award recipients this year. So
Right.
yeah, so once
Well
we're
deserved.
able to, and again, due to COVID and everything, unfortunately, we're not able to present you with the award, the real award, like the hardware right now. But we're looking forward to that. Hopefully next year we can get everybody together and be able to present everything at the same time. So that's
good.
Great. Absolutely.
Good.
So let's talk a little bit about your job. What's the coolest part of being the president and CEO at Private Industry Council?
The coolest part, I would say we have 3 divisions. We have a workforce division where we have you ever heard like the career links, one-stop centers? And then we have our education division, which has like our youth programs, before and after school programs, stuff like that. But then we have our early childhood programs where we have pre-K counts, Head Start and early Head Start, where we mess with the little ones. I would say that is the most rewarding because, no matter how bad your day is, if you want to have a picker upper, just go in one of those classrooms. Those kids, they just remind you why you are here, why you do what you do. They just say the darnest things. They make you laugh, but that's what I love, that part, that I can go into any classroom and to sit down with one of those little kids and play, be the best youngest self that I can be and forget about reality of life for just a second.
No, that's awesome. And it's got to be rewarding to see the impact then, when those kids go on to school and maybe they have successes and see that thing, that's got to be very rewarding, I guess, as part of it.
It is, especially given the fact that I'm a Head Start child.
Oh, yeah.
I started my roots in the Head Start program down in Allegheny County.
Okay, cool. This is a full circle kind of thing.
It's a full circle. Absolutely.
Oh, that's
absolutely
awesome to see. That's awesome to see. So, this year you are awarded the Professional Excellence winner for the Alumni Awards. What does that how does that maybe validate or make you, what kind of like feelings does that make you think about your success? Because I know that you're a very humble person and so, but we obviously we want to reward that success here at the university. So, if you've had time to reflect on that, how does that exemplify, and are you not done yet? Like big plans moving forward, to continue in your career?
That's interesting. You said that someone came in my office yesterday and they told me, it's like, wow, that you're going to have probably the longest career here at Private Industry Council than anyone else. And I was like, what do you mean? Well, think about it. You started in your early 20s and you're president. You're probably not going to go anywhere. You're just going to be here forever. And I was like, wow, I didn't even think of it that way. But the journey, if I said it was an easy walk, I'll be lying. But was it a fast walk? It definitely was. It went fast. And, so to be recognized for, stuff that you accomplished, it's like, all I did was I lived life and I did the best I could. Everything that I apply myself to, I make it a conscious effort to be the best that I can. And for someone to recognize that, it's an honor. It's an honor. It truly is.
Well, I think those are good words to live by. Be the best that you can. I really like that. And I think that resonates with a lot of our alumni and listeners here to the show, for sure. All right, so now the fun stuff. So not that wasn't fun, but we always like on the podcast to really be nostalgic and reminisce a little bit about our times or your time at Cal U. So we're gonna play a little bit of a lightning round here, and kind of dig in a little bit more to your time at Cal U, if that's okay.
Okay.
So the running joke on the podcast, now that we're in our 3rd season, is that we ask, in my opinion, it's the toughest question, because for most of our alumni, it's very hard to maybe pinpoint one specific memory that stands out, because there's a lot that, there's a lot of memories that you have, or, that you recall fondly. I know in my experience, there's some memories that I don't quite remember, but I think they were very good from all accounts that I've heard. That might be shared amongst some of us too. But reminding you that this is the PG-13 version of the podcast. Is there one or two memories maybe that stand out to you about your time at Cal U?
Well, there's one. I don't know. I find it funny. My teammates find it funny, but we were we were traveling with the men's basketball team, and we were on our way back to campus, and we were approaching the toll road on 43.
Okay.
And there was like it was like an ice storm or something. I don't know, but it's like the charter bus was going straight, but then all of a sudden it started to turn. So we were on black ice, and everybody's like, and one of the men's basketball team players, I ain't gonna say the name, but he was from the state of California.
Okay.
So this was a shock to him because he's not used to
no snow, no black ice, nothing like that. Yeah.
He stood up and he grabs his stuff, he runs to the front. He goes, I'm going home because the streets of Cali are always clear. We busted out laughing. It was just so funny because it was such a tense moment, but then his reaction, it just made the whole bus crack up. But that's what I remember. One of many stories.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That would have been a bus ride, I'm sure, to remember.
Right.
Okay, so moving from there, we are currently crafting and building Cal U's ultimate playlist to be released later this fall. So is there a song or one or two songs, we'll allow two if you want, that remind you the most of your time at Cal U?
There's one. There's not a Cal U playlist without it. California Love by Tupac Shakur.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
right.
That's the thing.
One, right? I remember, and that's a song I think that, as we're doing this playlist thing, it's really cool. We put it out by email to all the alumni, and we got a lot of different, from different decades. I'm talking about from the 40s all the way to current music. But it's funny that, California Love comes up multiple generations from, when it came out in 95, 96 to today. It's really cool to see how people have taken kind of that concept and applied it to Little California too. So it was my choice for the playlist. Also, it's the number one request.
Good.
Can't go wrong with that.
You're on the right path.
That's it. So we'll make sure we add that as your selection also to the list. All right, time for the great food debate. What's the best meal or best place to eat at Cal U? And that could be on campus or off campus that you had in your time.
I'm stuck between two.
All right, we can take two. I'm cool with that.
Definitely McMo's Pizza.
Oh, Pizza Joe's. Yeah, that was
McMo's. Was that? I don't know. Is that after your time, McMo's?
No, McMo's is still there. Yeah, it was. When I was there, they called it Pizza Joe's, and it was on the backside of the bar. But I remember on the late tip, you could go in and get a big slice.
Get about a slice.
Yeah, and then roll out. So that was always fun.
But the other one was the fried chicken from the Quick Fill.
Oh, you're my favorite person.
The smell. The smell used to just permeate all through the campus, cross the Rite Aid when you were in the midday.
No, you're the first person that's mentioned Quick Fill on the Quick Fill chicken on the podcast, and I'm glad it's finally come up because it's probably my favorite also.
It's delicious.
You could get 50 wings for $4.
Right.
Go at it with your homies and friends and stuff like that. And
right. Best kept secret.
Yeah. People don't know about that Quick Fill chicken, man. It's an unsung hero on campus. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, when we have this, when we get together next year for the award ceremony, we'll make sure we try to sneak some of that in for old time's sake. So
right.
Well, awesome. Well, Shujuane, I want to thank you again, for taking the time to, out of your busy day there at Pick and joining us to talk to us about, your experiences and the Alumni Awards and everything else. So I really, can't thank you enough, and I want to congratulate you again on the Professional Excellence Award this year.
Thank you, Cal U.
Absolutely. And so before we go, we always like to ask if our guests are interested, folks that maybe were at school with you that kind of lost touch, or maybe some of our younger alumni that are interested in what Pick does. Is there a good way that they connect can connect with you, maybe like through LinkedIn or something like that?
Yes, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm also on Facebook. And for my organization, you go to our website, which is www.privateindustrycouncil.com.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us today. So for Shujuane Martin, I'm Ryan Barnhart. This is the Vulcan Nation podcast. We'll catch you next time.
All right. Thanks.